Welcome to the world of colors. I'm Colors. Today we're going to be making a really adorable gnome named Mr. Pot-Man. And here he is. This is how he looks. I'll spin it around so you can see his whole self. Really cute in the back. And he's made with pot boots and a pot hat. And he's got his gardening utensils and he's planting flowers. He's a flower gardener. We're going to be making him today. And I have the materials in front of me and I'll be right back to tell you what they are. What you're going to need to make Pot-Man is you're going to need a pair of wire cutters. I'm going to use those shortly in it. You're going to need a 1-ply jute. You get at Dollar Tree. A 3-ply jute that you can get at Walmart. Sells the 3-ply jute. And then you can get a pair of men's dress socks that look like this pattern at the Dollar Tree. And then you'll need these tools, these gardening tools that they sell on Amazon. They're called Mocking Top garden tool sets. M-O-K-I-N-G, Mocking Top garden tools. You can find those on Amazon. They're $6.99 for that set right there. And then you'll need a set of pots like this from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to be using two 7-inch rollers. They come 6 in a package. You're going to use two 7-inch rollers from the Dollar Tree. And then it's in the bridal section of the Dollar Tree. They have these little white pails for party favors. We're going to be using 2 of those in our project today. And then some miscellaneous flowers, whatever color kind you want. We're going to be using some of these knobs, these wood knobs from Joann's, the Park Lane brand, and we're going to be using those for his nose and hands today. So you want to pick those up at Joann's. And then we're going to be using a 5-inch wide by 4.5-inch long piece of rust fir. Any color fur you want to. On this one it's the rust fur from Amazon. And we're going to need a 1.25 inch by 7-inch piece of rust fur for the hair across the back. And then we're going to need for our felt pieces, there's not too many of them, we're going to need 2 1/2-inch squares of the green moss fleece for pockets, and we're going to need 1.5 inch by 4-inch piece of the green moss fleece for the front pocket. And then it's for the gardening apron. We're going to need 2 6.5-inch piece wide by 6-inch long pieces of rust felt, and then we're going to need 1 3.5-inch wide by 3-inch long rust felt. And then we're going to be using a little bit of the poly pellets, and we're going to need to use these 3 acrylic paints. The chocolate, the coral, and the vanilla we'll be using. And then we'll be using parts of these 2 balloon holders from Dollar Tree. We'll be taking a part off each one of them that we're going to be using for the project today. So other than that, you're going to need your glue sticks, your glue gun, your scissors, and that should be about it. So I'll get this stuff taken away from here so I'll have a space to make the project, and I'll be right back with you. We're going to start with doing his hat today, and then we're going to go on to make his boots next. So with the hat, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to paint either the hat or the boots for this gnome that I'm making today, but I'm going to tell you how to paint them if you want to. This one is painted. does have paint on it, but it takes a lot of extra time to paint them out and let them dry and go through all that. So I'm going to tell you how I painted them, and you can choose whether you want to paint them or just leave them like this. So this is the hat. You just want to take 2 of the pots. There's 4 pots in the package. Take 2 of the pots. I needed the extra height a little bit, so I used 2 pots instead of 1. And then just go ahead and tie your 3-ply jute around the hat like this. You want to get a little straight tassel type thing on the side. Like that. And just pull them to the back. And then we're gonna open up those ends and just spread them out so it looks like a tassel. Then you just want to put some hot glue underneath where you knotted it and hold that down there. Like that. And then just take a couple of miscellaneous flowers and put them in the front of the hat. The tassel goes along the side like that, going towards the back. And then you want to put a couple of flowers in the front. They're kind of off to the side a little bit, not quite centered. With that going to the back. And then you want to take your balloon holder from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to steal this little yellow sunflower off. That's where I got the yellow sunflower on this one's hat. Take that off of there. And then we're just going to glue that right above the 2 flowers. We want that to be center. So we'll glue that on. And that is the hat. Very simple to do. We'll put that aside. So that's ready when we're ready to put the hat on. And then I'm going to move on to the boots. This is what the boots will look like, how we're doing them. And this is how they look at the top, how the pots are going to be cut and merged together. And this is how it looks at the bottom. So we're going to take 1 pot. We have our 2 pots, and we're going to cut just, see if I can mark this, just across like that. We don't want to, it's about 1/3, not even quite 1/3 that you're going to take off right here. maybe a fourth. You're gonna take off right there, and I'll show you. We're just gonna cut right up to that place where I marked. We're gonna cut right up the side of the pot like that, and do the same thing on the other side. Just cut right up to that mark. And we'll cut it off at the top. And so you have like this piece is going to be what you're going to toss. And you have this piece left like that. And then this piece will stay whole. And you just put them together like that. And you want to glue them together at the top. Take that one and set it right down on the top there. And we're gonna hold the bottom part out so it doesn't, the pot doesn't slide up this way. We want to hold it straight down and let that glue and let it set up. I'll be right back. So I've got the top glued and set up. Now we want to hold the bottoms together like this. This is going to be the front, and you want to just hold it. You see, one's a full pot and the other one's the one we're bringing around and gluing on. And we just want to go ahead, make sure that's as straight as possible coming down, so it looks like two boots. And then just put the glue in there. Like that. See how I've got it, I'm holding it, and I'm gonna let that glue set up in there, and then I'm gonna glue this other side into there, and that's all the glue that we're gonna use. So I'll be right back. I got the front glued, and you can see how it's forming the boots. It's gonna be a straight line going down, and then you wanna turn around on the back, and it's gonna sit, this cut pot is going to sit on top of the whole pot like that. Get my glue out of there. So you're gonna, it'll be right. Just do it like that, and you want to glue inside here like that. You got your glue in there. Let that set up like that. That's going to be what the back looks like, and that's going to be what the front looks like so far. So I'm going to let that set up, and I'll be right back with you. Now you have them all glued together, and what you want to do is start at the front. The back has the double. You can see how the pot's sitting on top of it in the back like that. And the front is even. So what you want to do is go on the front and take your jute and glue it. Go ahead and glue your jute up across the front. Like that, and then just snip that off. I have that, and then we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the back. hands might get a little gluey doing this. And then we can just snip that off. And then we want to take and go around the rim. Start at the seam. I'll get a little glue off my fingers here. Start at the seam, and then we're just gonna, you can see how it is on these ones. We're just gonna go and put jute along in the rim. I'm going to go all the way around it and put this jute in the rim, and I'll be right back with you. I've got the jute all glued in the rim, and the next thing we want to do is put the little 1-ply jute bows in here. This is the jute that comes from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to make up some quick little bows. Maybe about 6 loops on each side, and then just wrap it a couple times like that. Just a little shorter. And then I just glue that last little piece I wrapped. I glue that down into the bow like that. And then we put our bow on the one side. Kind of goes off to the, facing off to the side a little bit. I'm going to do the other one, and I'll be right back with you. The boots are done, and this is how they look. And I wanted to tell you how, if you wanted to paint them, you'd want to take these 3 colors of paint, the coral, the chocolate brown, and the vanilla. The earthy color is what they call them, the brown in the testers. It's called earthy. You want to take these 3 colors, and I'm using the Testors Craft Paints, and I'll put the coral paint on first. I'll do this before I put the jute on. Put the coral paint on first, and get that on there like that, along the rim and everything. Get the coral on the whole thing, going in the one direction. You don't want to paint the top, just the sides. And then you want to take another brush, and you want to put some chocolate in it, some of this earthy chocolate color, and you just want to sporadically put that, not put that solid like you did the coral. Just put it here and there, the dark, going in the same direction, here and there with the dark color. Maybe a little bit more in the seam area. You go around, and then you want to take your dry brush, let that set up a little bit, and take your dry brush and take your vanilla paint in a 1-inch brush like this is what I use. And you just want to get some of the vanilla paint and put it on your paper or your paper plate or whatever you're using. Dab up your brush in that, and then you want to take a towel or a paper towel or something and get all the paint back off of the brush that you can get back off, so it's a dry brush. It's still got some paint in it, but it doesn't have a lot left in it. And then you want to go and just dry brush your boots on the top to highlight them. Dry brush them with that vanilla. And that's how I got them to be like this. That's how they look like that. And then on the top of them, I put the Duraclear Gloss Varnish by Deco Art that I got at Michael's. And that's what makes them shine like that. So that's pretty fun to do. too drawn out for me to be able to do in my hour video, so just telling you how to do that. Same thing I did with the hat. That's why the hat is all painted and got the varnish on it. So I want to tell you about that. Now the next thing we're going to do is come back in a minute and we're going to start our body, making the body of this gnome. And I'll be right back with you. Next we're going to make the body, and you want to take your sock. It just takes one of those dress socks out of that package that I showed you earlier to make him. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to use 7-inch rollers for his arms, so I'm going to use those to measure off where I want to cut. And I'll leave a little bit extra on the arms. That's going to be the arms, and this will be the body. So we want to go ahead and put some flat marbles in here. That should do it. And then fill it up with polyester fiber fill and fasten it at the top with a rubber band. And I'll be right back with you. I've got the body filled up with the polyester fiber fill, and I fasten it at the top, and it measures exactly 8 inches from the rubber band to the bottom. It's an 8-inch body. So then we want to go ahead and start making the arms. So we want to take that piece that we cut off the sock, and he's just got like real thin arms. We're going to go ahead and cut this right down the middle. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and glue them right together. Just run your glue, if you can see what I'm doing here. Run your glue right along. Open them up like that and put the glue right along in here. You want to stay back a little bit. I'm a little closer. Like that. And just close that right up. Let that set up while you do the other one. This is not a good time to run out of glue. And then just close that up, even as you can get it. And then what you want to do is, I've got a little bit of white coming out on this one I'm going to get rid of. What you want to do is just go ahead, and we're not going to put polyester fiber fill in these arms. We're going to put our roller right down in there, all the way to the bottom like that. And go ahead and put a rubber band at the top that we're going to fasten to his body. Like that. We'll do that with the other one. those are going to be the two arms. And the next thing I want to do is put on the knob that's going to be for the nose. So I'll put that on next. And just glue this on. I'm going to paint these after they're in place. So we'll put the nose on. I'll let that set up and I'll be right back with you. This set up is enough for me to let go of it. And I'm going to go ahead and put the knobs on the ends of the arms for the hands. So you just want to swirl some glue on there. Put it right at the end of the roller there. No rubber bands on the end of these wrists. I'm just going to put it on like that. I'm going to let this set up a little bit, then I'm going to put the other one on that arm, and then I'll be right back. I've got the arms finished. I've got the hands glued on. We've got the nose glued on the body, so we're ready to go ahead and glue on the arms. And what we want to do is keep the seams going to the bottom and go ahead and glue the kind of dangly arms. And go ahead and glue them to the back of the stub like that. They're kind of long and dangly. That's the way we want them. So I'm going to hold this one and let it set up, and then I'm going to glue on the other arm the same way. So it looks like that. And then when we come back, I'm going to paint out the nose and hands with this coral paint. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got him all set up here ready with his hands resting on the top of his boots. And his nose there. We're ready to paint him with the coral paint that I've got out here on my paper plate. And we're just going to go ahead and go around and paint him. This is the easiest way I've found to go ahead and get these painted, is to do it while they're attached. Instead of rolling around on your table. You don't have to get in too far because there's going to be beards and hats and all kinds of stuff, clothes. And after, in the end, if you can see anything that you didn't get, you can always just come back and touch it up. So I'm using the pots for the boots so that the hands don't get all over the body, and I'm going to go ahead and use them just to prop the hands up on till they dry. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this hand and do the other one, and I'll be right back with you. So I've got the coral paint on there, and what I want to do now is to highlight him. If you see on him, I've highlighted each of the hands and the nose with a little bit of the vanilla paint. So you want to take your 1-inch brush, something along these lines, and get a little bit of the paint in there, like that, and then just dab it off. Act like you're cleaning the brush out and dab it off, and that should be good. And then you just want to highlight the nose. See, I've even got a little bit too much. I'm going to highlight the nose. And highlight the hands. just a little bit. That ought to do it. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I'll work on that for a while. Okay, so that's how you do the highlight, and you paint them, and I'm going to let them dry a little bit more. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to do his apron. We're going to do his apron next. So I'll be right back with you. So we got him all set up here, ready for his apron. What you want to do is take your two 6.5 inch wide pieces of rust felt. They're 6.5 inches wide by 6 inches long. And you want to take and just lay them together like this on the table. And then you want to make sure the corners all meet well. Take the one 3.5 piece wide by 3 inches long rust little square piece that I had you cut, and just lay that right in the middle of the top of those two pieces that you have laying down. Just lay it right in the middle, at the top, in the middle of the top, just like that I have them laying there. Just eyeball it and get it as close to the middle as you can get it. I'm going to take this piece off here and get it laying like that, and then you want to just turn that around. This is the easiest way that I could think of to show you how to make this little apron. You want to turn it around and you want to cut the square. Just like that. And then you don't need any of these pieces for this. Keep those in your scraps. Those were just to make the pattern. Now this is what you have left for your apron. And this will be the front of your apron, and this will be the back of your apron. So we'll go ahead and put the pocket on the front here, the 1.5 inch by 4 inch pocket. It's just a long pocket on the front of the apron. I can get the tape off of here. There it goes. You just want to put that on the front. I'm not going to put anything in that pocket, so we can glue it all the sides down. And that's going to be the front of the apron. And then I'm going to wait and glue the back pockets on once I get them on there and make sure I have them exactly where I want them. So what we want to do is you want to take the apron piece and we're going to glue it on like this. It's going to go on just like that. Now the beard's going to go on most of this. You're not even going to be able to see the pocket pretty much. But we're going to glue that apron piece right on like that. Put it on like that. And then we'll turn around. And we're going to do the back piece the same way. We're going to glue that. Right down at the top. Like that, and then we'll do the other side. And it kind of is kind of open like that in the back. It hangs out, it's an apron, so it kind of hangs out a little bit. We don't want to glue it real tight. Like that. And then we're going to glue the sides together. So we want to get them right exact. Just lay them on the side and get that. Glue those together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put his pockets on the back. I've got the two 1.5 inch squares of the moss felt for the back pockets. I didn't even notice my dog was barking. I'll put his back pockets on like that. Now you could have left the top part open and stuck something in the back pocket if you wanted. Maybe a little handkerchief coming out or something. So you got those glued on. And then the next thing that I wanted to do, let me look at my list here, is do the beard and the hair. So we don't need these anymore. Put those off to the side. We're going to do the beard and the hair next. So we're going to take the 5 inch wide by 4.5 inch long rust piece of felt, rust piece of the faux fur that I got at Amazon. So I really like this rust fur. And if you need me to, I can look it up and find out the exact item number. Just let me know in the comments if you want the exact item number for this rust colored fur. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half and make a slit down the middle that'll go around the nose. And we're also going to do the corners up so that it's not so square. We want to make a little V of glue there and fold that up like that to round off the beard. like that. Just round it off. It looks a lot better if you do that. And then you can, I'm gonna get my hairspray out. I don't want to forget to set it. The mustache holds in a lot nicer once you put the hairspray in there. So you want to just take the beard and put it around the nose like that. So I've got it around the nose. I just put it right around like that. And then glue it towards the little stub area over here. So we'll just run our glue across there and just glue it over here. We're thinking at this point, what is going through my mind is I want to make sure that I have it tucked over towards the middle so that the hat's gonna cover up everything that we don't want to see. So I'm gonna do the other side. Like that, and just tuck that in over this way. This is usually when I start working on the mustache and getting that to come together and make a shape here. And then we're going to kind of put the hat on and the back hair on at the same time. But the thing about that is that you need, when you put your hat on like that, we're going to glue it to the front like that, and you're going to need that back hair back here to pick up the void right here between the hat and the body. So we're going to put the hair in there. We're going to glue the hair around in there. Looks like I got it a little bit long, but better than a little bit short. So you're going to take that 1 1/4 inch piece by 7 inch piece and probably trim it down a little bit. But we want to go ahead and put that around the back like that. I am going to trim that down. I'm not sure how I got that measurement wrong. I'm taking off about 1.5 inches off that. And then I'm going to glue the rest back on here like that, so that it picks up the void, and is also really cute to have that on there. So we'll glue that on. I'll just glue the end on here first. And then I'm just going to glue along the top of this hair and bring it on over to here. And just kind of making a base for the hat at the same time giving a really cute back to the body. We got that on there like that. And then we're going to take the hat, and what we want to do is glue it right to the top of the wood knob like that, and then you can see what it'll glue right on the back, just like this. So start with that glue at the top of the nose here. get it worked in there so there's glue on the pot. And I'm going to let that set up for a couple minutes so it's good and set up, and then I'll glue the back. I've got the front glued, and I'm going to turn him around and just lift up his little potted hat. Take some glue underneath there and set that back down and let that set up. And then I am going to work on his mustache with some hairspray. And I'll be right back with you. So I took the firm hold hairspray and I sprayed his beard and mustache, and then I've been taking my comb and making the mustache shape, and that'll hold really nice with this firm hold hairspray. So that turned out really cute, and you can see how when we glued in the corners of the bottom, how it makes a nicer shape of a beard than if it was just straight out. So now the next thing we're going to do is glue them onto the boots that we made earlier. So we're going to go ahead and put our glue on here. Pretty good amount of glue. Not real close to the edges because we don't want it to overflow. And let's take his body. He's all ready. Try to get him centered on there. Like that. And then just hold him down and let him set up. And I'll be right back with you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now that we've got the boots all glued on is to go ahead and take that little white bucket, the one that we got from the bridal section at Dollar Tree, and we want to take it and we want to take the balloon holder that has the blue butterfly, and some of them have a pink butterfly. Well, they have the tinsel in them that looks like water flowing. So if we take our wire clippers, we can snag that from this like that. I think this is going to be too long, but we'll trim it. And we want to take and put our bucket so the handle's facing forward, and then we want to glue our water in the bucket like that. We're going to glue it in there, and then I'm going to trim it because you can see how short I'm going to really want the water. I don't want it to be, where's my wire cutters? We'll trim that down. Trim that down. Like that. And then we're just going to take and glue these in. Now you might need to reinforce this with some E6000 glue because we're gluing to the metal. So you might want to use E6000. That's going to take a little bit longer to set up than the hot glue. So I'm going to hot glue it right now. But you might want to use E6000 when you glue this. They sell that E6000 if you're not familiar with it in all the hardware stores, and it's really good to glue just about anything. So I'm going to glue the water in here. Try not to burn my fingers. So he's pouring the water over the flower bucket. Now this flower bucket, how you make this is you just use one of those little pots and you put your poly pellets in there that you can buy at Joann's. I've got them right here. Like this. You can buy a lot smaller containers of it than this. This is the big container. Poly pellets. And you pour those in one of these pots, and then you want to pour some of your acrylic earthy brown paint in there, maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of the paint in there, and some of the white glue, and you pour that in there, and then you stir it up with a stir stick, which I have right here. You stir it all up in the pot, and then you want to just tuck your flowers that you're going to use into it while it's damp, and then let it dry overnight, and you have this wonderful little potted flower that you can use. And we're going to put that right next to his hands, and then put the bucket of water in his hands like that. We'll put some glue there in the bucket there. I'm going to let that set up, and then I'm going to glue the top part to the other hand, and I'll be right back with you. So he's all done now. He's got his water bucket, watering his little pot of flowers. He's got his little shovel, his other tools that we ordered from Amazon. He's all set up. And I wanted to tell you about his little flower cart here. I got his little flower cart at a thrift shop. It's really a nice little flower cart. It looks to me like it was all hand done. And I picked it up for $5 at a thrift shop, and it's really a beautiful piece. I did see that they have these for sale, similar items like this for sale on Amazon. They're kind of pricey, but they're on there. And so if you want to go to try to find a cart like this, you can expand your little scene a little bit more and put your tools in there. These boxes of seeds came from Dollar Tree. I got 3 little boxes of seeds in there. And so that should do it. Of course, you can always make your little chalkboard also. And I appreciate you coming and spending this time with us today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, make sure to like. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe.